Welcome back. We are here at Classic Talk with Bing and Dennis. Today we are speaking with Angela Mead, soprano.
Well, we're talking about your career start, just going, and you think a lot of people is going to offer you different things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? I mean,
Well, you have to be really strong sometimes in your conviction of what you sing and what you don't, because it can be tempting when a major house writes and says, we'd like you to sing X, Y, and Z, and you know that it's totally wrong for you, to say no. It's very tempting sometimes, especially if it's really good money, to say no.
Right.
But you have to think long term and not just go for what looks good right now to you.
Who helps you make those decisions? Are they mostly
Well,
yours?
I
or-
always ask my agent's opinion, and I ask my teacher's opinion. And you have to just have a strong sense of self sometimes.
What kind of things? The length of the role, the highness of it, or what kind of things would
The
make you so-
tessitura, certain composers, certain things I just, know that I shouldn't sing right now. Like I'm trying to stay away from Wagner and the heavy Verdi. I've had offers for both. So it's tempting to say yes, but I just know that there's a long time to my career if I'm,
Right.
if I'm smart about it, that I can do that later
protect
on.
yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you think they know your voice? Why do they offer you that kind of thing? A
I
surprise.
think because there are so few people that sing these sorts of things, I think that they're tempted to be like, well, if she says yes, then it doesn't matter. You know what I
Right.
mean? We don't, we're not the ones managing her career. And if she says yes and screws herself up, then that's on her. So,
They're not thinking of your interests.
right, exactly.
So your agent is pretty much
He's
Take-
really good. I have a great agent, and he's got great ears, and he's very smart, and he knows what I should and shouldn't do.
Do you think you want to sing every week?
Well, I'd
Do you
like
have a
some
chance?
time off. I'd like to have a full schedule, but with some times in there that are scheduled as I don't do anything during this time, to just have a vacation and a breather, because I think it's easy to burn out in this business. You can be going constantly, and going doesn't necessarily mean a train ride to New York from Philadelphia or something. It means on a plane around the world, and that can be extremely exhausting. And not only does it take a toll on your person, but it takes a toll on your relationships with other people and family life and everything else. So
The voice is we're always thinking, it's a very delicate instrument. So it's not like piano or
Mm-hmm. Right.
anything like that. So
you can't just put it away at the end of the
that's
day.
right. Or you
No.
can buy a new one.
Right. Exactly.
So, and how do you take care of it? I mean, do you worry about it or?
I think everybody worries about it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that I'm paranoid about it, though.
Right.
I don't do some things that some people do. I don't smoke. I don't drink.
Right.
I don't do recreational drugs. Some
Sure,
people
sure.
do. I try to stay away from foods that cause reflux. I
Right.
try to get a lot of sleep. I try to rest a lot. I try not to go out and try to make myself sick by, touching the subway stairs and then my face and things like that. So I'm conscious of it, but I wouldn't say I'm overly paranoid about it.
It's very smart. Of all the opera characters you have sung and done the complete roles, who is your favorite as not singing wise, but as a person?
I think Norma's a very interesting character.
Why?
She's such a victim, but she's so strong at the same time. She's in such a situation. Her best friend is, with her man, and she doesn't know she's being cheated on, and she's, bore him 2 children, and she's so desperate she wants to take their lives, but she realizes she really loves them. I mean, it's such a tragic story. It's hard sometimes not to get wrapped up in
Too
the
much.
tragedy of it and let that play out.
You think it, over the years, someday you're gonna sing Wagner?
Oh, probably. There are people out there that are going to be Wagnerites that are going to watch this and say, "Oh, I hate her for saying that." But Wagner doesn't really appeal to me as singing wise. I like to listen to some of it, but it doesn't speak to me in the way that the bel canto and the Verdi does. So
That's very legit. Yes.
Have you worked with Renata Scotto?
I have.
Yes, just as a master class type
I
situation.
did her summer program that she had up in Westchester. I don't think she's actually doing it in Westchester anymore. I think she's just doing it in Italy now. So I went to that program, and while I was at AVA, it was the end of my second year, I think, end of my second year at AVA, that I went. And it was really informative to work on her. She doesn't work on technique. She works strictly on style and interpretation. So I actually worked on Lucia, of all things, with her. I think it's her favorite thing to work on, actually, because there were several of us who were singing Lucia. She's great to work with, very knowledgeable and very informative.
She must be great for the Italian
She is.
spice.
She is.
Yes. As a singing a role, which is your favorite role, purely from a singing point of view?
I really like Trovatore. I haven't done it staged yet. I've done 2 concert versions of it. And there's so many different aspects of different roles that I like. Like, I really like Act 4 of Ernani. It's my favorite thing in that. And there are different parts of Norma that I really love. And I don't know as a whole what it would be.
What makes the fourth act of Ernani so good for you?
I just love where it's written. I love the dramatic element of it. It's just everything.
And you love
about
to stab yourself at the
I
end.
love to stab myself. Yes. Didn't get to do that the last time.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
You mean 4 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah. But you did this time.
I did.
That's great.
People gasped in the audience. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
Doing some concerts this month in March, and then I have 6 weeks off, which is amazing. And then I'm going to Berlin to make my Deutsche Oper debut in a concert version of I Due Foscari. So that's a new role for me.
Another early Verdi.
Yes, I actually really love the music in that. I'm excited to do it. And then over the summer, I'm going to Kiel, Germany, twice to do some operetta concerts. I'm going out to the West Coast to a little festival in Oregon called the Astoria Music Festival to do Norma there. I went out there last summer and did Trovatore, and they asked me if I would come back and sing Norma this summer, so that will be fun. Then I'm going to Spain with Marco Armiliato to do Trovatore.
Great.
Doing Mahler 8 with the Aspen Festival, and a couple of concerts, one in Cleveland, one with the Philadelphia Orchestra and their summer home.
And you think your schedule,
I'm a little busy.
and you still thinking, well, I need more.
Well, I have some times off. I have the 6 weeks off at the end of March to the end of April. And then I have a couple of weeks off in July. But other than that, I'm kind of booked until November, the middle of November, around Thanksgiving. So,
Do you think that someday your schedule is going to be 4 years?
well, I have things that are scheduled out through 15. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Don't you think that's always worrisome? That's a 3, 4, 5 years away. Then you say, my voice, this and that. You know,
Well, I
it's
hope
right
in
for-
5 years it won't
No,
have a problem.
of course.
Like I said, you have to sort of like figure out where you think it's kind of like playing the stock market. You kind of have to gamble on what you think will still work really well for you in 5 years. So
Do you think you really want to try Europe?
I do. I'm excited to go to Europe and make some debuts over there. I made my European debut at the Wexford Festival in the fall of 10. Singing a really obscure opera, because that's what I do, sing obscure opera. Mercadante's Virginia, which was a great piece, but I don't know if you know much about Mercadante. It's not terribly vocally written. He writes much more like you're an instrumentalist that's singing. So it made it difficult. It took a while to put parts of it, especially the first aria. She comes out and sings an aria, first of all, into my voice.
What Verdi is coming up for you, or what I should say, what Verdi would you like to sing next? Say middle Verdi or middle years.
I'm excited to do Due Foscari. I'll be singing some Vespers. I just started looking at that. I listened to it the other day, and it didn't speak to me immediately like, excuse me, some of the other Verdi has. I hope that it grows on me. I would love to do Forza down the road, but that's something that, if somebody offered it to me now, I would be hard pressed to say, I should wait, because I just love the score so much. But it's something I need to wait probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years to sing. I would love to sing a Traviata. There's so many things. Lombardi, Masnadieri, all sorts of things like that.
Do you think you were still trying to do competitions?
Oh, no, I'm retired.
You're retired.
No, she's.
There will be lots of singers happy to hear me say that.
55?
I am done.
Don't you want it to reach 100 so
No.
nobody can break that record?
No, the truth is she's won them all. So
I know. That's why.
There's not hardly any left for me to do, but especially because I'm the age I am now. There's only a couple that I could still do. Most of the age cutoff is 30 years old, so
How did that happen? You enjoy doing that? Doing it?
I did. I knew that this was a very expensive career to pay for voice lessons and coachings and evening gowns and plane tickets and hotel rooms and everything else. And it was while I was at USC that I really started sort of doing them. I would go down to the music office and look through their file cabinet that they had full of applications before everybody had everything on the internet, and look for competitions. And I would go out every weekend and do them in Southern California, and there were a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
And it got to be a joke around USC. People were like, "So what'd you go win this weekend?" But I found that I was really good at them, and so I thought, why not go do this and make a lot of connections and some money? So that's exactly what I did.
it's not a competition, but you were just recently awarded the Beverly Sills Artist Award.
True.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. That's a great
That's right.
award too. Now that you didn't have to sing for that.
Correct.
That was
that or the Tuckers. I didn't have
Or
to
the
sing for the
Tucker.
Tuckers either.
yes.
Those are both decided upon by committee. So, but I include them in my 55 because,
Uh-huh. Sure.
I mean, it is a competition. You just don't know what's happening because they're deciding in a room between singers. So
Did you ever meet Beverly Sills?
I didn't.
You didn't.
I wish I had.
Great lady. Yeah.
Oh, I admire her singing so much, and
Yes.
she was such a great personality on stage that I wish that we could have had coffee and chatted. But
Any particular competition that you remember is such memorable for you?
I remember the ones I didn't win.
Maybe
Is
that's
that
true.
terrible?
No, that's that's a good thing to have.
I remember really, I did never fare terribly well in the competitions in Europe. That's why I didn't do a whole lot of them. I thought it was interesting that I could come here and sort of win most everything, and go to Europe and not do so well in them. I never did understand what the disconnect between it was. So I just didn't waste my time going and doing them. I only did a couple. I did the Caballé competition, which to me, I really wanted to win that because I really wanted to meet her and work with her.
Right.
And it didn't happen. So, and then I also went to Operalia and didn't win and was devastated. And the only competition that I really did well with in Europe was the Belvedere competition. And I sort of swept it the year that I did it, which was amazing. I don't know if it was because most of the judges were from the U.S. I'm not really sure.
When you do these auditions, you have an aria that's been your lucky good luck charm. That's
Yes.
Which is
Casta Diva.
Casta Diva.
Yeah, I started using it really early on when I was at USC, and my teacher at the time, Gary Glaze, was apprehensive for me to go and use it because he was worried that people would think that, they would immediately think of Callas or, whoever else, and they would immediately compare me to whoever the other singers, the great singers of the past, and he thought that would be a real disadvantage. And he also thought, well, it's a really exposed aria, and I don't think that maybe that's a good idea. But I kind of went in spite of him and did it and got positive feedback. So I thought, well, this is a plan that works, so why change it? So I did that. I would say of the 55, I guess we can only count 53 because I didn't sing for 2 of them. 53 that I probably sang Casta Diva first in at least 45 of them.
Wow.
What was number 2?
They always asked for the Chardosh afterwards, regardless of what else was on my list. Yeah.
Which always made you happy.
Which always made me happy because it was like I just go out there and sing these 2 things. So I sort of never had to worry about it. I don't think that probably 5 times out of that they asked for something other than the Chardosh. And then when I started offering Ernani and Volami as my first aria on those last couple of competitions I did, they always asked for Non Mi Dir second. Always.
Interesting. I believe we have one more clip. Let's take a listen. Scott, could you roll that? Angela, can you tell us where this was a Casta Diva from where?
It's from Opera Tampa's gala that they had last year. They asked me to come down and sing, and that was the only thing I sang on the gala. It was lovely to go down to Florida for a couple of days and just hang out in the beautiful sunshine and go and sing one aria and yeah.
That's great. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, we're talking about you going to different places singing, and now you have a boyfriend, also a singer.
Yes.
So, what's going to happen? I mean, as far as seeing each other and be with each other.
Well, it's going to be a really interesting dynamic because I think it'll be fine. But he's just starting out in the business. I say that like I'm an old professional, right?
You are.
But he's even more starting out than I am. He's just finishing up his master's degree this year, and so he's going to be, hitting the audition trail hard in the fall. And I've been home in New York all year, basically. So it will be interesting when I'm gone most of the time to see how this fares, but I think it'll be totally fine.
Do you give each other advice?
Yes, we do.
And talk a lot about your work.
Yeah. He asks me a lot about competitions.
Oh, sure.
And doing auditions and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, we talk about it a lot, different aspects of the career.
I'm sure that is healthy.
Yeah.
A fun question. When you go on stage, are you superstitious about anything? Do you take anything with you in your pocket? Nothing.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
That's great. What about funny moments or embarrassing moments on stage in your career? Anything?
Not a lot. I mean, I forgot the words one time during something on stage at the Met, but I mean, I don't think that's happens to everybody. But I mean, literally, I couldn't remember what came next.
Did you make up some good Italian?
No.
No.
Jane Clavitter was in the prompt box, and it was during Figaro. I did one performance of Countess, and I was in a recit with Lisette Oropesa, and I sang the wrong line first, and then I couldn't remember what came next because I had just sung the line I was supposed to sing. I looked at her and I was like, and Jane's like shouting my words at me, and like I think I had like temporary deafness. You know how you panic,
Right,
and then you're
right.
like, I can't hear. So Lisette finally said to me what my words were. Good colleague. She knew what my line was. So
Speaking of a prompter, do you sing more with a prompter or without?
without.
Without.
I figure it's my responsibility to know what's coming up. So I don't want to rely on somebody to tell me. I'm glad that they're there in case something like what I just said happens, even though it didn't help me at that point. But I would not want to go on stage and feel like I didn't know what was coming next and needed to rely on somebody to tell me. That would make me nervous.
I think with your career and everything's going your way. I mean, now your parents, what do they say to you? Or, they might not say something to you, but you can tell that they're really so proud of you.
Oh, my dad. I mean, they're both so proud of me, but my dad, I mean, he works for this company and he goes down. And every time there's a blurb about me anywhere on the internet, the television,
Right.
wherever it is,
Right.
the newspaper, he's got it like plastered in the lunchroom. My classical singer magazine cover just came out, and I sent it to him, and he said, "Oh, I've been plastering the walls in the lunchroom with this." He's very proud. They're both very proud.
You say you didn't stop me, right?
Just think, I could be a teacher right now, Dad. I could have done my doctorate like you wanted me to. Yeah.
You continue to think that is really the way you want to go now.
Absolutely. I don't think I would trade it for anything. There were times in my schooling that I would get frustrated and think, oh God, what am I going to do with myself? I don't think I can do this. But I could never come up with anything else that I would ever want to do with myself, except maybe be a baker.
Oh, there we go.
I think if for a newcomer, I should say newcomer, and you have everything, and for a young singer to look at you, my gosh, that's a dream. So what would you say to them?
I think that you have to have big aspirations. I mean, if that's what you're out to do, if you want to be a star in this business, if you want to even make it in this business, you have to have big aspirations, and you have to be very diligent about pursuing them. And you can't just sort of stand on the wayside and wait for, the Met to come and say, hello, we'd like you to come and sing, because it doesn't work that way. You have to beat the pavement, and you have to be diligent and be in a practice room and practice and know what fits you best, and take every opportunity if you're, polished up, to get out there and present yourself in front of people, and be relentless about it if that's what you want to do.
Is there one thing you say, don't do? What would that be?
Don't do. Don't take things, let's see, I wouldn't say, well, I don't know. I mean, it's different for every person. I think that you have to really know who you are and know what your limitations are, if you have limitations. Some people think nobody has limitations. And just really go gung-ho towards what you feel you should be doing. I feel like a lot of young singers don't have a lot of self-evaluation going on. They listen to what their teacher says all the time. Not that they shouldn't, but there needs to be some sort of filter going on about what they think they should or shouldn't be doing, and not just blindly let the teacher or the coach lead them around by the hand, but they're there to help guide you, but they're not there to make your career for you.
So in other words, they should really know who they are.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They should find what they do best and emphasize that.
Do you see yourself being a teacher, a voice teacher one day?
I always thought I would be terrible at it, but the further I get into this career, I think that maybe it might be something that's appealing later on. Many years down the road.
Many
That
years.
was
You've got
many
a lot of
years.
operas to sing
Yes.
before that. Well, it's been so exciting to talk with you and to see your career take off like this.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations to you. It's
Thank you both.
extremely exciting. We've been with Angela Mead. This is Classic Talk with Bing and Dennis.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.